I've had enough of this. I said I wasn't going to make another film on religion or anything like that, but I feel that this is too important to not speak about. I've heard so many people speak about it, and yet no one actually does anything. But I've seen Christians being oppressive, Christians just harming others, killing, caring only about themselves. I've seen Christians discriminating, not helping the poor. I've seen all this poverty in this country. What's going on? I thought Jesus preached about standing up for the oppressed. I thought he preached to give to the poor. I thought Paul of Tarsus said, "Without love, I'm nothing but a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal." I thought Jesus said to love your neighbor as you would love yourself. I also want to mention the parable of the Good Samaritan. I'm going to have to reiterate it as I do not have a Bible in front of me. But there's basically a man walks through the town on his way from Jerusalem, or I don't know where, but I forgot. But on his way there are robbers who rob him, and then after he's in a horrible condition, he can barely function, and there's a priest. A priest! This is someone who's supposed to be, like, today we would retell that story as maybe a priest or a pastor or something, who just walked past him, just ignore him. Then a Levite, again, someone else who was supposedly of closer to God or whatever. It could be retold as maybe a deacon or something, or some sort of Christian. He ignored the poor man. But then a Samaritan. It was a Samaritan who then looked upon the man and said, "I need to help him." And it was the Samaritan. The point of the story is that it was a Samaritan. Early on in some of the Hebrew texts, before we get to the New Testament, there's all this setting up the context in a way, or there's all this stuff about the Samaritans being unclean, these dirty heretics and filthy and all that. And yet it's the Samaritan who's the hero of the story. If the story were retold today, it would possibly be the story of the good atheist, the good Muslim, the good Jew, the good Wiccan, the good Buddhist, the good Hindu. We need to stop being oppressive and learn to stand up for the oppressed. We need to learn, yes, to love one another, as very few Christians do. But what we really need to do is to help, to do good for people, to resist evil. To me, it seems that Christianity has become the exact opposite. We need to help others. We need to treat others as we would like to be treated. For that sums up the law and the prophets. You don't believe me? Read the Gospels.